Good morning. How are we all? Are you ready for some yoga? So I'm Ellie, for those of you who haven't met me before. I welcome you to this session. We're going to be running through a yoga session today that is designed to build up some strength in the back of your body, help support posture, and also open the front section of the body. Typical phone rings. So the idea really behind this is to help you build up some kind of resolve, some strength, some support through these perhaps challenging times that we're going through. I know we're all having a different experience with this. But also, this opening of the front body is to represent this, I don't know, this, to help you be open to new possibilities, to take on the challenges and find new and maybe better ways of doing things. So yes, welcome. Let me just explain though, I do want to make it clear that it's a class that really is suitable for fit and healthy people. So ideally with no pre-existing health conditions. It's designed for people perhaps who have some experience of exercise previously. And I urge you to take care, extra care, because I'm not with you in terms of being there right next to you. I'm here online, so I can't watch you. So I beg of you, I please ask you to be extra vigilant and listen to your body. Be really, really honest and true with yourselves. And if anything feels uncomfortable, pain, any discomfort, any ill health, you must stop immediately. So please promise me that you're going to do that. Participation is at your own risk. I'm afraid neither myself or Two Riversmeet can accept any responsibility for any injuries sustained when enjoying this session. So please take care. Yes, so should we begin? Okay, so you might need something to sit on. If you find sitting on the floor a little uncomfortable, raising the bottom off the ground can help. So let's go and do that. And you can use a cushion. You might even have some yoga blocks, really whatever suits you. So let's go for it. Let's sit down and prepare ourselves for a lovely yoga session without falling off your block. Just to let you know, I have sprained my ankle of late, so I'm going to have to go a little easy on that. So forgive me if I look a little bit clumsy at times. Okay, so how are you feeling now you've found your seats? Maybe you're still getting some cushions, something to support under the knees. If you find your knees are sitting very high, raise the bottom on a higher platform. Maybe support under the knees as well is useful. And as much as possible, see if you can find a really long spine. What I mean by that is that feeling that maybe you've got like an invisible thread from the top of your head and you're lifting it upwards. Now, if you care to close your eyes, you're welcome. Place your hands wherever they feel comfortable. Some people like them in the lap. I like them on my knees as it allows my chest to feel open, and that is one of the aims of the class, to give you that nice feeling of openness through the front body so you can breathe fully. And just settle into the space that you're in. Just making a little commitment to yourself that you're going to do the best that you possibly can to put everything out of your mind, anything that's been on your mind lately, just put that to one side, and you're just going to dedicate yourself to this yoga practice today. Staying mindful. Allow it to be a gentle practice. Gentle on yourself, so it's supportive and it's nourishing. And just check, how do you feel now? Are you feeling comfortable? Is there anything else you can do to make yourselves more comfortable? If there's something else you need, go and grab it. So we're going to take our attention firstly to the base of the spine and where the body is making contact with either the ground or the props that you're seated on. And just give yourself to those points of contact. Yeah, just for a moment, allow yourself just to feel that you can sink into those places in an attempt to feel really grounded and supported. Just have an awareness of the earth beneath you. And then start to lift your attention slowly up your spine. So maybe lifting slowly up through the pelvis, first of all. And notice how it starts to bring a lightness to the body. Starting to lift that awareness past the belly button, up through the very core of the body. The awareness now moving through the heart center. Maybe feeling a fullness there. Maybe the breath deepens a little naturally. The collarbones widen. The back of the neck now, the energy is moving up there and into your head space. Notice how this feels. And then out through the crown of the head, once again, that invisible golden thread lifting you skyward. And notice if you now feel that the spine is even longer, that the body feels even more expansive, just even a minute amount. So the breath now, maybe it has naturally deepened a little. And if it hasn't, allow some full breath. So it's going to be a nasal breath that's in and out through the nostrils. Take some nice full deep breaths in and maybe be aware of where movement occurs in the body as a result of the breath flooding in and moving out again. Notice if you can take the breath so deep that the belly expands. The chest expands in all directions as you breathe in. It's almost like you're filling up all the way to your collarbones. And that lovely release of the breath is almost like a softening, a calling to that gentle feel. In-breath, an invitation to bring in new energy, especially if you've been feeling a little sluggish lately, inviting that new energy with each inhale. Release any tension with the exhale. And if you feel that you're forcing the breath in any way now, just allow a natural breath to happen and just sit quietly, silently. Maybe eyes are closed, maybe they're slightly open, but they're still. Just observing how you feel and observing your breath, just for a few more moments. New energy coming in with each inhale. And that natural release with the exhale. And then after the next exhale, you can gently bring your hands together. Namaste hands. The goodness and the light in me honors and respects the goodness and light in you. Namaste. And just spending a moment here, maybe closing your eyes again if you wish, or just focusing now on the heart center. Said in Ayurveda, in Indian medicine, that this is the area where all our emotions reside. So just taking a moment, seeing how you feel at this At this place, is your heart wanting to say anything to you? Taking some time to listen to your inner guide is very useful. And honouring whatever it was that arose from this heart centre of yours. Honour that now by just allowing your head to bow down towards your heart. Keep your heart centre lifted, keep the collarbones wide, and as you bring your head down, just notice maybe there's hopefully a pleasant stretch in the back of the neck. Spine still long. Breath still flowing, unimpeded. And then relaxing your hands down on your legs. Open your eyes if you had them closed. Lift your head. Okay, now if you're already beginning to feel that the legs are stiffening a little, your hips don't feel quite right, or you just don't feel quite right, do take time to stretch the legs out. Give your toes a little wiggle. Maybe give your legs a little bit of a rub. And when you feel ready, we're going to come back to a seated posture. You can change your posture. No hard and fast rules here, as long as you feel comfortable. So I sometimes like to change the linkage of the legs. If one leg was in front before, I change it, the other leg now leads the way. It's totally up to you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of movement and breath coordination. We'll start with the movement though. Okay, so see how we go. So all we're going to do is we're going to start to make clockwise circles with the body. So when you come forward, you may notice my chest is opening a little. Keep the shoulders relaxed. When I move behind, so the body almost comes behind the hips, there's a little bit of a curve in the spine. That's okay, but keep the shoulders down. Avoid the shoulders hunching up. So it's coming forward, the chest opens, you go behind, there's a little bit of a different movement with the spine. And just have a bit of a play with that, see what feels right. It's not about copying exactly what I'm doing. It's about listening to your body and see what feels right for you. Some people like to make really big, expansive movements, maybe the arms come in a little bit, or you may be making some nice, very subtle circles, and that might be good for you. So when you feel comfortable with the movement that you've initiated here, see if we can bring in the breath. So we're going to be taking an inhale as we come forward through the nostrils, and an exhale as we move behind the other half of the semicircle, as it were. So you go at your speed now, whatever feels right for you. If you like to close your eyes, then you're more than welcome. Sometimes it's helpful to direct the energy, keep the energy moving upwards. With the eyes closed, keep the focus here at the mid-brow. And just seeing how that feels. So this starts to stir up the energies. If you're feeling a little bit dense, a little bit heavy, it starts to wake up the area of your pelvis. Maybe give you that little lift. If you're finding it hard to coordinate breath and movement, doesn't matter. Just move or sit. Whatever. You're here to enjoy, remember. Okay, so let's come back to the centre. Find that long spine again. Maybe roll the shoulders a few times. Loosen out there. Stretch the legs out again if you need to. But if you're ready to give it a go the other way, so let's try. So we're going to make circles in the opposite direction this time. So we're going to go anti-clockwise. Okay, so try that first of all, making the movements. And then when you feel you're ready, then you can maybe add the coordination of the movement and the breath. So just a little reminder, what we do is we take an inhale as we come forward. And an exhale as we move behind. And we go whatever speed we like. Maybe I'll stop for a while so it's not off-putting to you. If you've got your own rhythm, if you want to close your eyes, maybe taking the attention to the mid-brow area. Enjoy these Circular movement, stirring up the energy, stirring our way, moving away any density, waking up the spine. It's almost like a moving meditation. Somebody's determined to get hold of me this morning. Okay, so bringing it back to centre. Lifting the spine, feeling nice and long, lovely. Okay, so we're going to take it into some side bends, maybe stretch the legs out again. I'm going to open up the sides of the body, because that's very important. And it's also said in Ayurveda that certainly if you've been feeling the effects of this heat that we've been having, it's been amazing, hasn't it? Amazing weather. But heat tends to store in the body, and sometimes it can have a little bit of a negative effect if there's too much heat. So one way to release that is by opening the rib cage. So what we're going to do first of all, you're going to take an inhale, you're going to lift up your left arm. Exhale, you're going to take it into a side bend. Lovely. You can support with the other hand. Take an inhale here, open the ribs. And exhale, you're going to come back up again. Return to centre. Inhale, the other side. Inhale, the arm goes up. Lovely. Exhale into that side bend. Inhale, open the ribs with the breath. Fill that space. Exhale, back you come. Okay, so now continue at your own speed, but just for the guidance, inhale takes the arm up. And the exhale, you move into a side bend. You inhale to come back up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open the ribs with the breath. Exhale, come back. One more time each side. Inhale. Exhale into the side bend. Inhale to open the ribs with the breath. Then exhale, back. Finish on your right arm. Right arm moves up with the inhale. Float it up to the sky. Exhale, over you go. Inhale, open the ribs. Exhale all the way back. Wonderful. Now both arms all the way up. And exhale all the way around. Two more big circles. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, you're filling up yourself up with energy with that inhale. Letting go and pushing anything away that you don't need with that exhale. Wonderful. Okay. Taking the hands behind with the fingertips on the ground. Maybe the flats of the hands are. Maybe you need some support, some blocks. Doesn't really matter. But see if you can bake down through your sit bones and start to lift your chest, expand your chest, and have that feeling that you're creating some space across your collarbones. Again, now that space that you created, remember what you can do, you can fill it with breath. So allow it to be expansive with each inhale. Feel that the chest's getting more and more expansive, wider and wider with each breath. And if you feel comfortable to, very gently you can explore taking the head back, but avoiding any compression in the back of the neck. If this really doesn't feel nice for you, then maintain that gaze looking forwards. That's still perfect. You're still opening your front chest. So you decide. And then slowly coming up, tuck the chin in, bring the head forward, turn the arms, and now we're going to take their hands out in front, looking forward for a moment, and walk the hands out in front. So we're going for a little forward bend this time. Creeping the hands out, don't have to go too far. What I'm more interested in, you can stay where you are, but I just want to show you. So as we come forward, avoiding rounding of the spine. So as soon as you round the spine, you can see that the lungs become compressed, you can't breathe fully. So if you can, keep that length in the spine if you possibly can. And only coming forward, inching forward that little bit more, if your spine will allow, if your body will allow, if you feel comfortable. Try and keep the sit bones grounded. The idea is you've got that lovely length in the spine. You can still breathe fully. You can still allow that expansion of the belly and the chest when you breathe. The neck being an extension of the spine as well, really long, carrying on that straight line that your spine represents, well, with its natural curves, of course, but the head not dropping. Forward bend's another great way to pacify excess heat, actually. Okay, coming back. All right, good stuff. Let's stretch the legs out again. They probably need it. And then you're going to bring hands underneath the knees, feet quite wide, much wider than the hips. Hands down behind you, once again. And just allow the knees to drop over to the left-hand side. So you're going to window wipe the knees, loosening out the hips. They're going to come back through the centre, lifting the knees, and over to the other side. And now let's see if we can combine breath and movement. So inhale to come up. Exhale to move down. Inhale to move up. Exhale to move down. Remember, nasal breath if you possibly can. Inhale. And just notice how that feels to loosen out the hips. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come down. Okay, wonderful. Inhale to come up. And this time, exhale to come down. Just notice how that feels. Sit yourself up a little taller. Take a breath. Let's try that other side. Up they come with an inhale and the exhale as they go to the other side. Lifting the chest. Just explore how these movements feel in your body. How do make your body feel? How do they make your mind feel? Are they pleasant? If they're not, don't do them. Find your own way. Always make any modifications that you need to. Very important. Okay, let's try something a little different. You may have done these before. Cat-cow. Cat-cow is where we come to all fours. And I'm just going to add a little something to cat-cow today. Cat-cow is traditionally where we look to move the spine into a kind of rounded position and a slightly arched spine. We're going to add into the postures or this sequence of child's pose. Firstly, get yourself comfortable. So hands are directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. So you've got space between your hands, you've got space between your knees. And avoiding the shoulders moving up towards the ears. Instead, we draw them away so the neck's got lots of space. And then look for a long spine. Notice I have a tendency towards overarching here. So a little bit of support is needed in the belly and the muscles, the muscular structure here to support and lengthen the spine. So firstly, tune into the length you have in your spine. Take a few breaths, see how this feels. Now, if you're not used to putting weight through your wrists, if you're new to yoga, let's say, then at any point you need to, just come back and just mobilise the wrists a little. Give them a little bit of a massage, come out of the posture and join in again when you're ready. So let's start by taking an in-breath to create a little arch in the spine, but the arch is going to be led by the heart centre moving forward. So inhale, heart centre comes forward, and then the exhale, we're going to begin by curling the tailbone, and the end of the exhale, the end of the out-breath is going to see us all the way down in child's pose like this. Ah, lovely. So when the in-breath comes, it's your heart centre that leads, up you come, heart centre leading, shoulders drawing back. Exhale, start to curl the tailbone, and it's a long, slow out-breath all the way back. And just be led by your breath, especially as I'm talking. So, you know, following the speed that I'm going may be counterproductive. I want you to move between these postures, coordinating with breath only if it's comfortable for you, and moving at the speed that feels right for you. Our aim is to create some feeling of openness in the body, feeling of release, any pent-up emotions, any blocked kind of on the feeling of density anywhere. Let it all go. Release. One more time like this. And exhale all the way. So it's a really long, slow exhale. And once you settle into child's pose this time, see if you can just melt. So not everybody's going to be able to get their bottom to their heels. No problem. Again, that might be an option for putting a cushion in place. You might find that your head doesn't naturally touch the floor. Again, blocks, cushions, rest the head as much as possible. Let that head relax down onto something. Don't let it hover in space, because then you're using all your neck muscles. So relax a little further, relax a little deeper and longer in child's pose. Feeling the breath move all the way to the pelvis. Expansive breath, energy inwards with the inhale, exhale, releasing. And then slowly making your way out of child's pose. Welcome back. We're just going to stretch out the legs. Maybe stretch out the right leg first of all. So tuck the toes under. And you can just do some gentle pulsing movements. So we've got enough room. Yeah, we've got enough room. Oh, just pulse out. And stretch the muscles in the backs of the legs. Breath still flowing. Nasal breath if possible. Let's try that on the other side. Toes tucked. So pulse, gentle pulsing movements. Not pushing into any areas of pain ever. That will be counterproductive. You're not going to get all the benefits of yoga if you do that. Okay, wonderful. All right, so we're going to come back to child's pose, toes tucked. And this time we're going to stretch out with the toes tucked. And we're going to come into that classic posture in down dog, in yoga, called down dog. We're going to move dynamically with the breath first of all. So the first thing we do, wait for the inhale to come. And as it comes, let the inhale bring you up to all fours. Hands are shoulder distance apart, by the way, feet hip distance. And the exhale, come into a posture here where the knees are bent. Bent knee down dog. When the next in-breath is coming, bring yourself back to all fours. And the exhale settles you back into that child's pose posture. So maybe let's just go for the movements first of all. Don't worry about the breath too much if that's confusing. Bring yourself up to all fours. And then when you're ready, press with the hands. It's almost like you're encouraging your hips to go away behind and the spine as long as possible. Bringing the knees back to the ground. When you feel ready, settling back into your child's pose. Okay, let's try it one more time. Incorporating the breath if you can this time, if you haven't already. So inhale, up you come, leading, your heart center leads the way. Drawing yourself forward. Exhale, press the hands down. Every part of the hands press down, including the base of the index finger. Long, long spine. Inhale, maybe bringing yourself back to all fours. Exhale. Retreat once again into your child's pose. And take a couple of breaths here. Again, using any props you need to, maybe smoothing the tops of the feet down. So, walking the hands back. So we're going to move off the floor now. So for you, those of you who like to get energised, I thought it'd be useful to do a nice calming session to begin with, because it's been, as I say, a bit of a fraught time, hasn't it, with all sorts of challenges. So hopefully you found that soothing. Hopefully you're maybe feeling in a slightly different space now. So I'll come to a squatting position here. Now this is perhaps not comfortable for some of us, so we don't have to stay here too long, but it's a great place to practice keeping mobility, lifting ourselves from the ground upwards. As we get older, this is really, really important. So if you can, maybe you need to keep your fingertips down on the ground for the time being. Maybe you're comfortable to bring your hands to your heart center. Doesn't matter if you're wobbling around right now, that's great. If you've fallen over, go steady. I hope you don't hurt yourselves. Go steady. But we're going to give it a go, coming to standing from squatting posture. So I'll demonstrate firstly if you like, and then we can do it together. So we're going to do it like this, maybe with the breath. Inhale, up you come. We're checking I'm not going to hit the light fitting. Inhale, stretch it all the way up. And exhale, the arms are going to come all the way back to heart center. So I'm going to do this again. So you can give it another go maybe, or maybe join me for your first attempt at this. So however you wish, maybe fingertips down on the ground, maybe hands at heart center. Do you want to give it a go? So maybe with the in-breath, rise, keeping the knees steady, facing forward, coming all the way up with the in-breath, and let the out-breath be an opportunity to clear the space around you. Clear it from any nonsense that's been dragging you down. And bring hands to heart center. You've arrived at standing. Wonderful. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're going to do some standing postures. Maybe we'll have a little run. Let me see how we're doing for time. Okay, so maybe we'll have a little run through the sun salutes to honour the day, honour this beautiful sunshine that we've been having. So you're going to come to the front of your mat. Your feet can be together or slightly apart, it doesn't really matter. And you're going to bring your hands to your heart center. So again here, what tends to happen with yoga is we coordinate movement with breath. But if this is your first time to yoga, you've been exercising before, but yoga is a new thing for you, you're finding the breath a little tricky to think about along with the movements. Don't worry, just breathe as and when you feel comfortable. If you can follow the breath and the movements, then great. So first things first. So we're coming to Samastiti, or equal standing. Maybe I'll come and face you for a second. So what we have here is ideally a good energy moving through the body. The body's feeling aligned. The ankles are aligned with the knees, aligned with the hips, aligned with the shoulders, aligned with the ears. So you're making a long line of energy. You can feel the feet pressing down towards the earth. Invite that, press them down. And when you press the feet down, maybe you can feel a lift of energy up the body as you do. Just see if you can key into that for a moment. Letting the breath flow. Feet pressing down, legs energized. And then you can start to lift the energy up through the front of the thighs. Allow it to spiral up the spine. And all the way out through the crown of the head. So see if you can enjoy that for a few moments. And then when you're ready, we're going to take an inhale. So we're going to open the arms, inhale, palms meet at the top, and exhale, hands come back to the heart center. Lovely. Let's try that again. So inhale, open the arms, and exhale. This time I'm going to go into a forward fold. So maybe bending the knees a little bit. I'll step back so I don't set my hair alight on the candle. That would be good, wouldn't it? Good. And then just dangle there for a moment. Give the head a little shake. Bend the knees. Maybe the feet need to come apart a little bit. And just dangle there. Maybe your body's more here. That's okay. Maybe that's your forward fold. That's okay. That's all good. Maybe you need some support with your hands on your knees. But if you can, keep that long spine. Avoid really rounding like this. Avoid the shoulders coming up. So wherever you're at, it's good. It's all good. So from here, we're going to bend the knees a little bit more. And then what we're going to do, we're going to step the right leg back into a lunge. And see if it doesn't have to be too deep. If you're used to yoga and exercise, you might be okay with a deep lunge. If not, maybe it's a little closer. And you're going to come up into your first lunge. Bed the feet down, level the hips, drop the spine, drop the tailbone down. And if you're comfortable here, you can either keep your hands at your hips or raise the arms with an inhale. Good, lovely. Exhale, hands come down through the midline, all the way down. Hands come either side of your front foot. Step your back foot back. Plank for a moment and then drop the knees and lower the body down towards the mat. Good. So where we come to it's called cobra. There's a little back bend. Now, this isn't comfortable for everybody, so instead, this might be better for you. Sphinx. Can you see what I'm doing? So the hands or the forearms are on the ground. You press the forearms down and get a lovely opening through the chest. If there's any discomfort in the lower spine, you open your legs, give the hips a little shimmy and see how that feels. And invite that openness for the chest. Maybe you're in cobra still. Maybe your legs together. We've all got different bodies, hey? So just enjoy that for a moment. And then from there, we're going to move into our down dog. So from here, to move to down dog, tucking the toes under, maybe coming to all fours first, or maybe even child's pose. So you're going to press the ground away on an exhale and come back to that maybe bent knee down dog that we did before. Or maybe you can start to straighten your legs. What I would say here, word of caution, if you're starting to straighten your legs and this happens, the spine rounds, the shoulders come up to the ears, come back to bent knees, and what's more important here is a long spine. It's not important that the legs are straight. Press the hands down towards the earth, feel the hips lift, take the breath into the whole of the body, feel it, move through the spine, through the whole of the torso, let the head be loose. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to bring this right foot back now. So you might turn your left foot out slightly. You're going to bring the right foot back. You're coming back into that lunge where hands stay on the hips to start with. Maybe you need to make it a smaller stance. You decide. If you're comfortable here, you either keep the hands on the hips or inhale. Arms go up. Exhale all the way back down. Stepping into a forward fold, and we're going to come back out of the posture. So remember, I want to see a long spine. I want to avoid kind of curling up the spine. It can set up problems in areas of the hips. So we're going to come up, pressing the feet down, knees bent a little bit, come up with a neutral spine, and the arms go up as well to really get that length through the spine. Bringing hands back to the heart center with an exhale. And that's one complete round of sun salutations. Okay, let's do one more. We're going to work with the left leg this time. So, ground, feet pressed down towards the earth. Feel the energy moving up the spine. Inhale, open the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart center. That's wonderful. You're going well? Hopefully, yes. Inhale, arms come up again. Exhale all the way down. Bend the knees if you need to. Remember that nice long spine. Your forward fold, whatever it looks like. It might be here. You might be down here. It doesn't really matter. Just hang out there for a moment. Take a breath. Enjoy. And then we're going to step the left foot back this time into that lunge. Get steady. Make sure you feel comfortable to come up into that lunge. Hands on the hips, level the hips as much as possible. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, down we go. Down through the midline, all the way down. So we're going to step into plank for a moment, just for one moment. And then knees come down, so it's a knees down plank. Lowering yourself down to the ground your way. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Elbows tuck away behind. And scoop forward into your back bend. Remember, you've got your options here. Do you remember Sphinx I showed you a minute ago? Lengthen out the legs. Shouldn't be any discomfort in the lower spine. Take some breaths here. Remembering opening the front body. One of the aims of this class. Do you think you've been breathing fully lately? Feels good to do that, doesn't it? Lovely. Okay, so from here, moving into down dog. So remember, shoulders remain back, curl your toes under, press the ground away, maybe coming into all fours first, or maybe even child's pose, you choose. Then into your down dog. So many ways to do this, but the only way is the way that suits you. So add some movement if you like. If it feels good just to mobilise the body, working into any areas of stiffness, you go for it. Making sure that the breath remains flowing, full. And then we're going to bring the left leg back. So right foot turns out slightly. Bring the left leg back. Up you come to your lunge. Steady yourself. You're feeling wobbly. If you need to stand or sit down at any point, do. If you're feeling good, then raise the arms with the inhale. Exhale down through the midline. Down we go. Stepping the feet together or apart, but they meet near the top of your mat, so you're ready for that forward fold, that flop. Oh. That feeling almost that there's like a waterfall, a cascading from your hip area, travelling all the way down the back, releasing the vertebrae. This is an opportunity for traction, creating space between the vertebrae, breathing deeply to encourage that to happen. Maybe you're more here, that's okay, but still working that long spine, support here. And then to return to standing, remember, feet pressed down, long spine, up you come. Return with an exhale. So you return to your heart centre. Stand there for a moment. How do you feel? Take on board how you feel. Feel where the energies are in your body. Notice any subtle movements. Drink it all in. Each inhale, expansive, creating more energy. Each exhale, release. Wonderful. Okay, release the hands. All right, so let's see, what have we got time for? A little bit more. A little bit more. Should we do a little bit more with the standing sequence? I've got a simple standing sequence for you. Okay, so what we're going to do, maybe it's better if I kind of face you this time a little bit. So we're going to step the right foot forward, left leg back. Okay. And so from here, what we're going to do, again, working with the breath, we're going to inhale. As you can see, my head's gone a little bit, isn't it? We're going to inhale, the arms are going to come up. Exhale, you're going to bend your front knee. A bit like warrior one, posture that we were doing earlier. Inhale, you're going to come up. And exhale, the arms are going to come down. Quite simple. Now, if you feel you can do a deeper lunge this time, you know how you can kind of like creep the toes forward? It's almost like they're doing a caterpillar. So creep forward, check it with the hips, check that they're level, and we're going to go again. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bend the front knee. Inhale, up you come. Exhale, arms come down. We're going to do that one more time. Up to you if you want to creep the toes forward just that little bit more. Can you kind of see what's going on there? Check the hips are level, check the tailbones drop, the spine is long, the legs are really strong. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, front knee bends. Make sure it doesn't go past your toes. Inhale, back up. Exhale, arms down. Good, wonderful. Let's give it one more go. Maybe even go a little deeper if you wish. All right, so we're going to add another posture on as well. So we're going to go inhale, arms come up. Exhale, front knee bends. Inhale, opening into warrior two. Exhale, return. Okay, good. Step the feet together. All right. Let's try it on the other side. Okay, so left leg forward. Maybe I'll stay this way. So this time the left leg forward. So not such a wide stance to begin with, because you remember you've always got the opportunity to creep the toes forward. Bed down through those legs, legs really strong, active in the thighs, hands on the hips. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bend in the front knee. Warrior one. Inhale, up you come. Legs strong. Exhale, arms come down. Creep the toes forward if you wish. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, front knee bends. Inhale, Up you come. Exhale, arms down. Third time, creeping the toes forward, should you wish. Checking you feel really strong and comfortable in this area. The legs are supporting you. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bending the front knee. Inhale, up you come. Exhale, arms right, clearing that space around you. Last time, adding on warrior two as well. So maybe creeping the toes forward just that little bit more. As long as the hips can remain reasonably level and feel comfortable. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bending your front knee. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale. Okay, just spend a moment. Just stand easy. Turn your palms forwards. Take some breaths in. And exhale to radiate that good energy. Can you feel you've built up some good energy within your body now? Within your mind, within your soul. Enjoy that. All right, relax your hands. Coming down to the mat. Okay. How are we doing? We all okay? Actually, I haven't looked to see if there are any messages here. Let's see how we're going. Hello. Hello, Ruth. Hello, Linda. Yeah, do it later, no worries. Okay, so I'm just gonna... Oh, hi, Louise. Right, okie dokie. So, let's see what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to do some exercise now to strengthen the back body. We've done quite a lot to open the front body. So what we're going to do, we're going to get ourselves into a position where feet are about hip distance apart. You're going to have the hands behind you with the fingertips facing forward. And just see how it feels to press the hands down towards the ground. Maybe the arms straighten a little bit. And you've got that feeling of creating the space across the front of the chest. The spine is long. Take a few breaths here. How does this feel for your wrists? Are your wrists okay to do this? You know, take a bit of a rest. Bring them back to life. If you need to change the position of them a little, then that's fine. But I want to see that the chest is open. And with the feet hip distance apart, what we're going to do next, we're going to lift the hips off the ground. Just going to give it a go. So we're going to be taking the weight of the body into the hands and the feet. So let's just give that a little go. Maybe take an inhale, and on the exhale, try a little lift. So inhale here, forward the chest, and then exhale, giving a little lift to the hips. Just see how that feels. And then release them back down to the ground again. So just how did that go for you? If it's okay, let's try it a few more times. So we're going to inhale, and now I've got somebody at the door. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale, come back again. And let's just move between those two moves a few more times. You go at your speed, see how that feels. See if you can notice what's happening in the muscles at the back of the body. Take some strength through the shoulders and the arms, building up strength, which is really, really good. Creating openness in the chest. Openness in the front body. Strength in the back body. Let's try that one more time. Sorry, it makes me smile. Whenever I do yoga, it makes me feel so good. I hope it's the same for you. Okay, release the wrists. Give them some life, some love. Give them a rub. Okay, now, if you're good with that, let's add something on. This is, yes, a little bit on the fly. And sometimes it helps if you've got some blocks nearby or some books. Then when you've got a bookshelf nearby that you can grab a couple of books off. So I'll show you what to do. So we're going to give this a go again. So same position. Well, maybe if I just turn this way so you can see my feet are hip distance apart. Yeah. So I'll demonstrate. So we're going to come up. We're going to inhale. We're going to come up. And on the exhale, the key here is that you have got your feet pretty much underneath your knees. Got a good distance between your hands and your feet. Because what we're going to do on the exhale this time is we're going to try and take the hips away behind and hover the bottom above the ground. Now, it depends on your proportions. I've got long arms, and obviously I'm used to doing this. Blocks will help, or bricks will help, so maybe if I come facing forward, maybe you can see. So instead, what you can do, you can put your hands on the bricks or the blocks, and you can come up, using the bricks for support, and when you exhale and come behind, press the ground away, broaden the chest. You don't have to hover there. So you can try moving between those two moves. So when you're ready, I don't know whether you're going away to maybe get some bricks or some blocks. I don't need mine, but do grab some if you need. So you're going to come up on an inhale this time, changing the flow of the breath, and on the exhale, pressing the ground away, maybe hovering the hips. Okay, and try moving between the two, inhaling to come up, and exhaling. This is a strong move, so don't worry if you can't do it. I'm trying to give a little bit of something for everybody here today. I know you're all of mixed ability. I'm just grateful that you're here and you're doing some yoga. One more time. Give it a go. Inhale. Exhale. And then release. And then look after those wrists. Look after your body. Take a moment. How are you doing? Okay, so keep mobilising those wrists. Keep doing what you need to do to make them feel alive and good. So we've done a little bit of wake up there for the back of the body. I might overrun by about 10 minutes with this class. I hope that's okay. We'll see. We're going to try one move. This is a very strong move for the back of the body. So, and I'm going to give you some options, some modifications. So what we're going to do next, it's very much based on what we were just doing. So the options are, we're going to come up into, it's kind of like an upward facing plank, and we're going to see if we can hold it for, I don't know, no more than about 5 breaths. There. Or, if you're feeling confident, you're feeling strong today, you can try the option where you've got straight legs. So I'm just demonstrating for now. So I'm going to come up, and as we come up into upward facing plank, you don't have to take the head back, maybe you're still looking forward, but the emphasis here is that the muscles in the back of the body are lifting you up, pushing your pelvis upwards. It might be that you're only going to survive there for a millisecond, and that's okay. Maybe have another go. Maybe you can hold it for the full 5 breaths. So decide which one you want to try. You can always change your mind once you're there. And so we give it a go. So I'm going to do it for the full 5 breaths and see what you fancy. So get yourself in position either with knees bent. If you're going to work with legs straight, by the way, normally we do it with feet together. If you're doing the bent knee version, it's feet apart. So again, you choose. Fingertips facing forward. And when you're ready, up you go. And we're going to see what's comfortable for us. So allow the breath to flow. Be kind on yourself. Don't chastise yourself if you're having trouble with this. Be comfortable with wherever your body's at, however long you hold it for, whatever version of this posture that you're doing. Strong in the back body, open in the front body, building resolve, being open to new possibilities. Maybe even surprising yourself. Okay, let's release down. I don't even know how many breaths were done there. Roll the shoulders. Really superb. Really well done. Okay, all right, so just lie back for a moment. So just a nice counter pose after opening the front body and strengthening the back body is this, lying on the ground, just hug your knees in. Take a few breaths here. And then stretch your legs up, give them a little shake. I've got to go a little easy because as I said, I've got to sprain this ankle. So I'll shake my good leg. Give them a shake. Yeah, shake those legs. Doesn't matter if they're bent. So you're shaking all the build-up or the byproducts of the muscular effort. Shake it out and just let the legs hang then for a moment. And it's almost tangible, isn't it? You can feel the legs relax and soften. You don't have to be there for too long because we're going to release the legs back down and lie back on our mats. So you're going to come into Shavasana. Shavasana is where we've got our feet probably about as wide as the mat, certainly wider than hip distance. Lengthening out the tailbone. And then take the weight of your head in your hands. You see I've got my hands clasped behind the back of the head. And lengthen out the back of the neck. Placing the head down on the ground. And then the arms can release down by the side of the body. So for some people this isn't comfortable. If you've got any trouble with your lower spine, sometimes bending the knees is better. You can allow the knees to rest on one another. Or using some kind of props to prop up the thighs. So here we go. So, yeah, thighs propped up. I thought I'd put my phone on silent. I'm so sorry. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so let's lie back. So the main thing is that you are finding some comfort. Hopefully the temperature in the room is right for you. You can always grab a blanket, put some extra clothes on. If not, close your eyes and stay there in your version of Shavasana. I'm going to come and sit. And again, that's an option. If you rather sit to go into full relaxation, you're welcome. Just find a comfortable place. Find a comfortable place for your body. And release yourself down into those points of contact that you have. Soften. So have an awareness of your breath once again. Sometimes when we're asked to be quiet, it's like a trigger for the mind to go crazy. And all these thoughts flood in, don't they? That's natural. That's humans. So instead, if you notice that's happening, just try and redirect your attention to just observing your breath. Maybe that concept that I introduced at the beginning, that idea that each inhale will be bringing in that new energy to build the resolve. You feel strong. Each exhale is the opportunity to let go. Let go of any angst that you may have, or maybe pain in the body, whatever is going on for you. The body has an incredible innate intelligence and an ability to heal. You just have to believe that. The inhale, energy coming in to heal and make you strong. The exhale, wonderful release. I'm going to read you this. So allow your body to soften, to yield. Welcome in calm and serenity. Now imagine a warm sun, a pleasant environment. And feel your heart filling with peace. As you imagine and you breathe, you gather the warmth of the sun within. It comes from above and it fills you with light. So feel this light coming into your body. Your entire being is becoming radiant. Shimmering golden light surrounds you. As you bathe in this warmth and peace, take a moment to give thanks for all the good in your life. And now bathe in these positive thoughts. For these positive thoughts and gratitude will draw more good into your life. Continue to think loving thoughts and send those loving thoughts to those near and far. Release thoughts that no longer serve you well, and continue to draw in thoughts that lift you higher. Believe that you can create a beautiful mindset that elevates not only you, but all around you. You can support a beautiful life, taking guidance from all around, from nature, from truth, and from love. So let those words settle in the very essence of your being. And then start to invite a deeper breath into your body. You feel that radiance, that glow, and release. Start maybe a little movement of your fingers and your toes. Only if you wish. However, if you're happy just lying there still and you want to stay for longer, that's fine. Go for it. If you're ready to come out, then we're going to slowly make our way to seated, but only if you wish. So you're going to do that first of all, maybe by hugging in your knees, one at a time. Give them a hug. And placing your feet on the floor, you're going to roll onto your side and slowly come up to a seated posture. Or maybe you're still lying down, that's fine. Maybe bringing your hands to your heart center. Or maybe just taking your awareness to the heart center. Maybe if you're lying down, hands over the heart. Just returning to that place where all our emotions reside. Honouring whatever it was that may have arisen from that area earlier at the beginning of the session. Honouring that, whatever it was. If you're seated, let's find that long spine once again. Energy's moving up the spine. And conclude this session by just perhaps bowing your head down towards your heart if you're seated. Or just staying where you are if you're still lying down, enjoying relaxation. So honouring all that you are and all that is. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Release your hands. Gently open your eyes if you have them closed. Thank you very much, one and all. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, thank you. Namaste.